Hello, everyone.
Hello, Cliff.
Hello.
I hope, I hope, hello. I hope you can hear me from wherever you are. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everyone. My name is Cliff Mboya from Kenya. I'll be leading today's session on Africa Story, which is the opportunity across Africa. And I see, before we go on, I'll just need you to let everyone in the room, because at least we are 7 people, everyone just say your name, where you are at, and your time zone, so that we can be able to relate and know each other. I'll start with you. Jemima, and then we go to the rest.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Jemima, the marketing manager at Global Chambers. So if you have any events, upcoming events, feel free to reach out to me at jemima@globalchamber.org. So I'm based here in Singapore. Sometimes I'm also based in the Philippines. So nice meeting everyone. Thank you.
Who's next?
Thank you very much, Jemima. I'll go to. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. She.
It's Ozzy. It's nice to see you all, and Jemima, lovely to see you in person. You've been helping us with our Globinar for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in Estonia, a million miles away, very, very cold, and looking forward to your meeting today. Nice to see you again, Cliff, by the way.
Yeah, and I am, by the way, I am Mika, Sosi's business partner and partner.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cliff.
And then I have Caesar, and then Jacob, Nima, Fieri, Johannes, and Johannes in following that in that order.
Hello, everyone. Cesar here. Good to see you all. Hi, Cliff. I think you all know me, but just in case, Cesar Trabanco from the Global Chamber headquarters.
Thank you very much, Caesar.
And Cliff,
Hey,
great to be here with everyone. This is always one of my favorite events, and yeah, excited to introduce somebody new to the community who I just had a call with an hour before. Met through this network, Catalyst 2030. Brilliant, and so I'd love to introduce Chitundu to the community.
Hello, Chitundu. I see you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Yeah, no, sorry. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. Lovely to be connected here.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be
welcome. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say hello to Nima.
Hello, everyone. I think most of you know me. I'm Neema Mleli. I'm from Tanzania. I'm the Executive Director for Global Chamber here. I'm happy to see you all.
Hello.
Just Chitundu, where are you from? We would love to know where you're coming from.
Sorry, so I should have said, yeah, my name is Chitundu Malunda, as Jacob has said, and I'm from Zambia. Yeah.
welcome Chitundu on this Africa Forum. It's good that you're expanding our network and seeing that Zambia is also coming on board. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Okay. Hey,
Yep.
guys, anyone who has not introduced themselves?
No,
Oh,
we're good.
hi, Cliff. My name is Frances. I'm the membership manager
Hi,
for
how
the
are you?
Global Chamber. So good morning to most of you. It's good evening in the Philippines. So if you want to make any changes or any requests, you can always reach out to me. Of course, I will leave our details, me and Jem's details, so that you can reach us out. I think we exchanged a few emails with Zazie and a few members already. So it's nice to see all of you in
Lovely
this
to meet
TV
Lovely
Africa monthly meetup.
you,
Yes.
Francis. And thank you both so much for all your support. And Cesar,
Thank
and
you. Thank you. No
obviously.
worries. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just trying out. I don't know if it's my network is a bit, but I'm trying to change my.
Cliff, could I make a suggestion? Just, I've had a few meetings today in different countries in Africa, and we all had to switch off video. Maybe if we all do the same here and we just have a conversation, now that we've seen each other in person, it might help the connectivity. Can you hear us, Cliff?
I can hear you.
I can
Okay.
hear you too.
Lovely. That was the only way we managed to get through our meetings today, was by switching off video. It seems like worldwide there's some sort of connectivity problem.
I think I've been trying to switch on to other network which is a bit strong.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I hope now I'm a bit clearer and I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, you are much clearer now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just take you through. Most of you, I know by now, you know what is coming out of Africa and what are the cross-border opportunity trading. But before that, I would like just to go through the cross-border presents numerous opportunities, and of course, driven by the economic integration initiatives such as the regional trade agreements and the continents. There is a lot of opportunities coming through from Africa. And it's not, again, just across Africa to other continents, but Africa to Africa. So there's a lot of opportunity that now we are looking at across Africa because of the trade agreements and the continental regional initiatives like AFTA, which is Africa Continental Free Trade, has really pushed trade and promoted trade across Africa countries. And this has also been enhanced by the regional economic communities like the East Africa, ECOWAS, SADC, and COMESA, of course. So for us, this is a very strong opportunity. And we find that every African country now is looking on how can we open up more trade going outside, trades outside in terms of expansions. So some of the opportunities we are looking at, of course, the role of the regional economic communities is to enhance economic integration within the regions, offering trade facilitation, infrastructure development, and policy harmonization. So that one has also helped a lot to push the after trade agreement. And this is why we also push that more investor comes into Africa, because now you can trade between Africa to Africa, and there's a lot of opportunities in terms of digital trade and e-commerce. This is an area which there's a lot of growth in terms of digital platforms, mobile technology. You order some online, and you'll find that most Africans now are buying things online, and they're doing trades online. So it's easier to trade when there's a bit of strong internet, and more people are becoming more they're relying on the internet e-commerce trade, digital trade and e-commerce. And then there's also the opportunities, of course, for agriculture and raw materials, which has also been enhanced by, again, technology. Now we are seeing more and more countries are ready to explore and showcase what they have in terms of commodities like cocoa, coffee, minerals. Cross-border trading in this sector can also address supply and gaps chain that international. So the gaps here is where now, for me personally, I look at it as where the investment could be, is the logistical angle of the supply chains and gaps to meet the demand. There is a lot of demand, but now we need more technology, more companies to come and fill the gap in the demand and supply chain. We also look at there's a lot of infrastructure development going on in terms of interconnectivity across Africa. So this is area where the infrastructure is taking is huge. Investing in transport, energy, communication infrastructure is critical and facilitated. Efficient cross-border trade, improved infrastructure reduces the cost and transit times, enhancing competitiveness. That one you can also see with in Kenya. Recently, there's a new entrance in the market where Starlink, which is the Elon Musk company, are just dropped their product in the market, and it's giving our main competitors a challenge, because now everyone wants to see what is the new option, and this also is giving our main suppliers a challenge, and there's a competitiveness. So that one shows that there'll be a reduction of price, and we envisage having easier or more option in terms of internet, in terms of technology infrastructure. The other area we are looking at is investment in manufacturing and industrialization. There are opportunity to establish manufacturing hubs to process and add value raw materials locally, fostering economic growth and job creation. More and more Africa policies are now pushing towards having raw material being processed here. For example, macadamia, for example, coffee, tea. We are looking at more policies are pushing for the country to be processed here in-house before they are being sent outside. So the value addition industry is one area that you can also look at in terms of investments. I hope this is also it cuts across in any other Africa, in Tanzania and in Ghana, in Zambia. I hope this is the same policy that's being pushed around, so that we're able to harmonize our cross-border trade. So in agriculture, we're looking at commodities like coffee, avocado. Of course, in Ghana, they'll be looking at cocoa industry. So basically, if you look at it, is how can we add value? Anyone who is in the industry of value addition or distribution chain will be having an advantage in the near future in terms of competitiveness in the business industry. Of course, I've talked about investment in manufacturing, and then we look at in the next phase. I'll just before I'll allow different input from different people who can add something before we go to the challenges, considerations, and sustainable inclusive growth. So anyone who has a question or any remark, feel free to just add in, because I had some guests to join us, but we didn't book them early in advance. Kindly, anyone who has a point to add to what I've just said, please feel free.
I would like, I would like to add, thank you so much. You've touched so many areas that are important. Right now that we have people ready to export, and we have seen people are eager and ready, and they are preparing themselves to export in different areas, like what you say, mining. But one thing that we have seen, even in Tanzania, we have standard gauge. We have just launched the railway, and also we have also had new investors in our Tanzanian port that is going to like help in right now. Even when you're exporting or importing anything, it's easy because they have improved the technology that is used is really nice. But the one challenge that we are going through right now is you said we are not going to talk about challenges now, but I'll just put this in the
Go ahead.
there's an
Go ahead and mention it.
yeah, there's an opportunity in logistics companies. We don't have a lot of people. The main challenge is transportation. That women, for example, we have so many women in the women networks or in a lot of networks apart from women who are doing intra-trade. But the main challenge that they face is transport, how to connect. Actually, if I'm in Tanzania, sending something in West Africa is actually very hard. So sometimes it's not because I'm looking in terms of women. They are not importing like huge like bags or you say containers. Some of them they are taking like 10 kgs, 20 kgs, or 20 tons. It's not like something huge. So to export that through an aeroplane is also very expensive because you cannot take 10 kgs in a sea route. So there are those challenges that still we need to, there is an opportunity for people to look into that sector and really invest in the area of logistics. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to add.
That I know somebody who will have loved to hear this topic. So I would say, Zazi, I would like to hear, though you're from the other side, just give us some remarks in that area, and then what do you foresee in the future?
Hi, thanks, Cliff, and thanks, Nima. I think Nima's making a relevant point. One of the things we're working on, which might be quite interesting, is with the use of AI, breaking a container down into little segments, let's say, dependent on the size of your business, which has already got predetermined weights, customs tariffs, etc., dependent on what products you're exporting and importing. And when we're live, you will, as an SMME, regardless of which country you're in Africa, you will be able to go online once you've made a sale, people have ordered from you, and you'll be able to play almost like the game Tetris, where you can choose the block in the shipping container that you want. You immediately get information about how much it's going to cost, the weight that you're allowed, etc. And I think that will be of huge benefit. But what I also think would be hugely beneficial is if we all had an updated view of what trade routes are currently working well, which sort of ports are being used so that we can further research and develop better solutions. And I think the one thing we're forgetting all the time is the importance of the gig economy and job creation, where we could potentially create a fleet of freelance truckers, for example, who could do last mile delivery in between from pickup to port. There are very, very many interesting avenues that we could explore. And it would be lovely if we all could come together and perhaps have a webinar about that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, that sounds as a great idea to have a webinar in that direction. Perhaps maybe you can suggest a day or a day we could have specific to discuss what you have, and then you can maybe do some presentation perhaps.
Absolutely, I'd love that, and I'd love to have the input from anybody that is involved. Nima, for you, Chihunda, if from Zambia, you have any input? I think we all can do so much together, more than we can do alone. And if we share our resources and our knowledge, I think we could map out a really smart plan, not just for intra-Africa trade, but in terms of when we talk about access to global markets.
True. Then I will just give. I see Shalom Bako is here.
Yes,
maybe
I see.
Perhaps he should give us some comments and remark on this topic. Shalom, welcome. Is he online? Okay. Anyone who want to jump in before we go to the next address the challenges? Jacob?
I see we have a hand raised.
I see Chitundu. Chitundu, please go ahead. Just unmute yourself and go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to add to or respond to sorry, I didn't get her name. I see from here that her name is Zazie.
That's everyone calls me Zazie, yeah.
Okay, great. Just to respond to what you're saying, yes, I want to agree with you. I think mapping won't be the biggest challenge. I think what will be the challenge will be incentivizing the investments to come into these jurisdictions that we're trying to target, and then implementing the projects, implementing these investments. And I think that's where we need to spend a bit more time putting together resources. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, hello, it's Mika here. I think it's absolutely necessary thing to do, and what we basically, our idea is that sort of organize Uber or Bolt network of drivers who could take those gigs And that would be like ultimate goal.
And on top of that, as Chihunda was saying, just in terms of really pooling resources and bringing investment in. But I think the missing gap is we need to start it at base level. And even though I'm from South Africa myself, at the moment we're in Estonia, very difficult for people in the rest of the world, especially first world countries, to understand what's actually happening in terms of trade routes, ports, etc. in Africa. And I think if we want to encourage investment and access to resources, the starting point is definitely to map what's available, even though there's so many changes coming, so that we know what we have to work with. And then my number two suggestion in terms of our company, one of them, is to really work with the businesses on the ground that need those services. So we know firsthand from a grassroots level what they're actually requiring and where their individual challenges are, and what solutions we could put on the table collectively if we all come together.
Okay. Those are some of great suggestions that we should put in consideration. I saw Solomon. I saw Shalom's hands up. Maybe we'll want to contribute on the discussion before we move to the next. Shalom, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, all the points really have been made on a number of things. I think in terms of infrastructure, we still have some, challenges there logistically, and so there's opportunities in that space. Finance is certainly another area that, different regions of the world have their own strategies for finance into the continent, and there are several ways that we could potentially solve those problems. But yeah, I think that would be my contribution for now. I can certainly add to the conversation as we move along. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it's good to hear from you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any hand up? Okay, I think we already addressed some of the challenges that are being faced, and I've had Zazi giving even the considerations that will be done in terms of finances. So other challenges that I will mention are none other than one is the regulatory and non-tariff barriers, which means there's differing regulation, custom procedures, and non-tariff barriers can impede trade. So with AFTA and the regional economic communities, they're trying to harmonize. They're trying to harmonize the efforts so that we can be able to have trade, same tariffs between Kenya and Tanzania, Burundi, and Rwanda, of course, the East African bloc. And same, I'm seeing also the same is happening within the SADC region and the ECOWAS. So that one now will leave it to the larger AU and AU organizations to bring the world leaders across so that they can expedite the process. We don't know how soon that will happen, but for me, I believe this was part of the Vision 2030 for Africa and the larger Vision 2063 for the African Union. But again, if we say 2063, how many of us will be alive? So we need to find ways to push that these things happen during our time, during our lifetime. Some of the other things that we face, the problem that we face is the political stability and security issues in some regions. When security concerns affect the cross-border trade. And now we have seen there are 4 countries, I think, or 3 countries which have been due to the Charter, African Union Charter, that is they are out of the African Union automatically, being that the presidents who are currently in charge took a military coup. So these are some of the things that are really they're slowing the process. So we might have less, before we opened 54 countries in Africa would have been to the AU, but now again we have 4, which is out. So that one again brings us back to how do they address those issues across the ECOWAS region. Then the last one is, of course, the logistic and supply, which Nima had mentioned. And something I know Zaz is very passionate about is logistic and supply management chain. So how can we do it as Africa, as a global chamber? How can we be able to leverage on the processes that are going so that we are able to influence change that is happening and also position some of the companies that are within global chamber to position them by the time all these changes are taking place, that we have leveraged our companies and members to be global, to be the trade leads within this region. So those are things that we need to ask ourselves, and some of the things, as Zazi says, we need to start having a mapping out and having a collective discussion around it, so that we see what strengths do we have as global chamber and what can we do. So by the time all these things are happening, we already made steps ahead of everybody. So some of the sustainable and inclusive growth emphasis on sustainable practices in the trade can open new markets, particularly as a global demand for environmental friendly product rises. That one, we know that everybody right now, environmental friendly is something which is huge. So how do we position our product? How do we produce our products that are environmental friendly, and then we leverage on this. The other one is inclusive trade practices can leverage on potential of women and youth entrepreneurs cross-border trade. That one, without saying, there is the youth ball across Africa, and there is the youth strength that is across the Africa countries, that we can use to leverage on the expansions of these businesses as they have more better understanding on what is happening, and technologically they are well conversant with the technology. So with that, and with what is happening in Africa, I think this is the time where the revolution in terms of economic revolution will happen, and this will be very good opportunity to capitalize on in terms of businesses, policymakers engage in terms of strategic planning and capacity building. So with these remarks, I thank you, everyone. This is just, again, I'll open the floor to have a candid discussion on what your thoughts, what do you think would have happened better, what do we need to add to these processes, so that we're able to influence or even map out, as Zazi said, map out on making this possible. Thank you very much, everyone. Anyone who had not spoken, I would welcome. I've seen Doug online. I've seen there's an hand up. Okay, go ahead, Zazi, please.
Thank you. So I wanted to just add on what you were saying. I'm hearing you, Cliff, and because we're both in Africa, this is what is happening. But we have, I would give an example of the webinar we had last time for the African women, and I think it was a very big eye-opening for women what we really need in Africa is awareness, education, to understand what we need. When you go down to the ground, we've been working. I think I thank Global Chamber for the opportunities that there are so many wonderful people that we can leverage on and that are ready to help. I've been having a lot of weekly meetings with Professor Ansis, the consulting, and so many things that we've realized when you go deep in the ground and when you want to take now the women to go to a global stage, not only in within our intra-Africa, but also in a global stage, you'll see a lot of gaps that are happening. And this is something that we cannot close eyes upon them, because we need to help women to start developing systems for their own companies, for their own businesses, because they cannot step. We can talk about all these infrastructures. This is the area that we would talk. We can talk about all the other parts, but then how can women start exploring new markets while their systems in their businesses are not well done, they are not well conducted? So you find women need, we can leverage on Global Chamber to provide more awareness in this global chamber, in these webinars, to use this, to leverage on this, to raise awareness, to educate, to have webinars which are educative to SMEs, not only women, but to both youth and women, because we have to look into all parameters. And also another, we see we have where to start. We have a lot of women networks that are there. Women are there and they're ready to hear what is to improve, to work on. We can use, even if people are having we see a lot of people are looking for volunteering, but they're all looking, sorry to say that, like most of them are looking into the US or to the other developing countries. But if we can have volunteers who can really help women develop systems and structures for their businesses, I think this could lead us to move somewhere, to go somewhere, because a lot of women cannot access although we are in an era of digital, we have a very huge gap for digital skills. And we have these youth who now are good, the Gen Zs, who are really good in digital skills. How can they help the women to be visible and also market their goods or their businesses out there? So we have different angles that we can help women in Africa and also youth in Africa to grow and expand globally. But we need to leverage on these webinars and this educative to educate more women. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nima, for the insight and great contribution and the grasp on the topic. Well, I've seen a few comments. I've seen a few comments from Johannes Gates. Please, would you say something? I've seen your comment and you're meaningful. You've said you're eager to learn more about opportunities in Africa and explore ways to bring value. Thank you very much, Johannes. Please join us every month as we discuss the opportunities and also across Africa from different speakers. But please feel free to just say something as we continue, before we continue.
Good morning and thank you. First time attending this, and it's been very insightful. And my message, learn more, and see how I can bring value to moving Africa forward.
What I'll say is that Africa, there's quite number of opportunities, and with the current model, the infrastructures and the more the designs that are taking place, it allows you to come in and play. Whatever you're doing in Europe, this is the opportunity, or US, whatever, wherever you are in your country, whatever you're doing, this is the right time for you to just come and plug and play, because everything else in terms of infrastructure, in terms of doing business, has been made easier for you guys to come in and plug and play. So whatever you've done and you've mastered in your country will be easily done in Africa, because now is the time that people are able to receive, and they also understand the products that you're bringing in, or the services that you're bringing in Africa. There's a huge space of growth in terms of middle class that is taking place currently in Africa. And there's a lot of exposed community in Africa that are eager to tap into new products, to tap into new services that are able to help them grow into their businesses. In terms of SMEs, we are seeing that now there's a lot of adaptation of technology, what Jacob has said on the silicon sub-Saharan. There's a lot of apps which are being built just for the small businesses to be able to undertake their day-to-day, to do their day-to-day business at ease, with ease, without looking at who will do who will help me do the cash books, who will help them do their returns in terms of taxes. All this, there's now technologies that have been developed and helps you to do this in one stop, or just through using some apps. So there's a really great opportunity happening in Africa, and Johannes, I'll tell you, take the advantage and jump in before things before the market is saturated. As someone has said, Chitundu, as that the one of the geographical areas you work in Zambia. What exactly are you? Okay, Chitundu is asking a question. So, Chitundu, you can go ahead and ask your question, please.
I think she said she's not able to unmute. But you know, she was asking about Zambia, and asking like what folks are what's getting done here, and how are you attaching it to the AFCFTA. So I can't answer or speak to that, but I'll throw that either back to you, Cliff, or somebody else that might be able to provide more depth to that question.
That one I won't be able to answer it now, but I think in our next conversation, or if someone can just drop me a line on the side chat, we can be able to look at we can be able to look at it in depth. Okay, I'm just also reminded by Jemima there's an event coming up next. Jemima, would you like to talk about this event, please?
Hi everyone. It's an event with Sassy and Prof. Ansis and Kwasi. So feel free to join us an hour after this Zoom meeting. So in Nairobi time, it's around 6 p.m. then 8 a.m.
Yes.
Pacific time. Yeah. So I send the Zoom link and the meeting ID and passcode. So yeah, feel free to join us later.
Thank you very much for the reminder, Jemima.
Thank you. Hope to see you all there.
Yes, we'll jump in. Okay. Anything from Caesar? Anything from Doug?
Thanks, Cliff. No, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, and definitely echoing the words from Jemima and the others about the events that we are having with SASE. It's really looking great. I see. I've seen a couple of emails from Professor Ansis on the event. He's amazing. And so definitely join us there and share the message, share the link, and let's have more people there which can benefit of these type of conversations. I see Nima raise her hand. Nima, go ahead. Thanks.
Thank you. I'll just love to welcome anyone. I have an idea, and Ruby is in a team. We want, from all this discussion, I think it's the right time to talk about this. And I would like to welcome anyone and Cliff on board to so that we can to have a conference, a global chamber conference, but we want it to be done in Africa for the first time. We can think about next year, and I am looking for a team to work with in preparing this. I'd love to work with EDs from Africa, but also other people who are interested, so that we can have a very big conference to address all these issues that we are facing in Africa. And also we can welcome even the Asia or any other continents that we think we can work with. But I would love to work with all of you in preparing a conference, and I would love it to, for the first time, to happen in East Africa. So we'll choose between Tanzania or Kenya. Thank you so much.
Cliff, can I respond? I just wanted to say thank you so much, Nima. Please count Mika and myself in. Nobody knows this as yet, but we're about to sign an MOU with you for and support all the wonderful work that you're doing. And I think it would be an absolutely wonderful initiative to have a global chamber event in Africa. I think we all get caught up in talking about the important issues, and we, in our pursuit of making things right, we also forget to connect with the people on the ground that we want to empower.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very Nima for bringing that up. Actually, there was an event which we were planning to do 2024, but again, the conference will not happen because of the current circumstances and the events happening in Kenya. But now that you have mentioned it, I think, and with the support of Zazi from Estonia, and I also hope that we're getting the support from the headquarters, this will be very great opportunity to have a global chamber event in 2025 in Africa. And I support that it should be in East Africa. Thank you very much, Nima, for bringing that up. Okay, last few minutes that we have, I will just perhaps invite Doug to have a word or two. Doug, are you there? I think Doug is not there. We have someone online that have not add on is Ochenda. Being it's an Africa Day, I would I like to hear from you, Ochenda. Okay, now what? Chitundu also has said she has also supported the idea that the conference. Thank you very much, Chitundu. And of course, Jacob has seconded the idea. And I think it's time. It's good that we can sit down. Nima, you could create a conference, a team that will start having discussion
sorry.
around that.
I apologize. I had a difficult time unmuting myself. I just joined the Global Chamber recently, and I am Asian, grew up in France. I was born in Cambodia. I grew up in France, and now I live in the US. So I'm very interested in what I'm hearing here. And I own a company, and we all work remotely, which helps if I need employees from Africa. And this is my first meeting.
Welcome very much. Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome. So, sorry, you're welcome, and we will be glad to help you in wherever area that will need assistance from. We are always ready to support from Kenya, from Tanzania, and also now I see we have our counterparts in Zambia.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you so much for
free.
hosting this meeting.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So it's once I'm here again. I just wanted to say on our behalf that it's been absolutely wonderful to be part of this webinar today and Globinar, and looking forward to work with you all, you guys.
Thank you very much. So to close the session today, I will just like to give an opportunity to Jacob. Jacob, I will give you the opportunity to unmute yourself and close the session with a closing remark for us, and tell us what you've learned, what is your take, and what would you like us to do in terms of preparation for what some of the things Nima has suggested.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the opportunity, Cliff, and big opportunity. And so this is always one of my favorite global chamber calls, because you have people from across the continent, people outside of Africa, all working on different types of initiatives or programs, sectors. And so I think this is just such a fertile ground for bringing in all of these different perspectives to help ensure sustainable success for initiatives like Zazi is starting, her group is starting, and Nima. There's so much potential, and in the conversation that I had with Chintundu earlier today, it's just finding ways to access resources or access knowledge, partners, community, networking. And so, that's another thing that I just have value in this space is a space to network and build relationships, and ensure that we all grow and add more value to the work that we're doing. So I think one thing I'm really excited about that emerged from this call is that idea of a conference, some type of event, in-person event. I think that would be an incredible time where, we can, there's a lot of action that's happening, but I think when we're in person, we can convert more of those insights to action, maybe in a more optimal way. So, and it'd be great to see everyone that I've only met virtually. So, yeah, I enjoyed the call. It's really important to sort of see where the different spaces are at, address the challenges, but realize at the same time that those challenges, there's solutions to all those challenges, and a way to find those solutions is having calls like this where we're coming together and having conversations, asking questions, connecting. Solutions will emerge in that type of space always. And so, Cliff, I'm very grateful for you for always creating the space and for Global Chamber for just allowing for this these minds to meet. Oh, you're on mute, Cliff.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much, Jacob. Thank you very much for your kind remarks, and thank you very much for always being supportive in our platforms and our engagements. Thank you very much. And to everyone, for me, I'll just say thank you very much for everyone who have attended. Thank you very much, Nima, for the good suggestions. Thank you very much for the insights that you also bring on board. Shitundu, thank you very much for your first time being on board and for your contribution. Shalom, of course, I'll always be grateful. Zazi for the support, and your engagement is very much welcome. Everyone, thank you very much. And I think if we don't have much to say or from anyone else, I'll just say the session for today is closed, unless Caesar from headquarters has something, or Jemima.
All good on my end. Just attend the event later. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the reminder.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
thank
Have
you.
a good rest of your day.
See you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.